Good morning, I'm Constable Jennifer Sidhu and welcome to today's edition of Toronto Police News for Tuesday, December the 5th, 2017. On today's show, we'll tell what happened when Cailey met Dandy. But first, let's take a look at what happened in your city over the last 24 hours. Yesterday, shortly after 1 p.m., police responded to a radio call for a located wanted man in the area of Rushholme Drive and Dundas Street West. It is reported that police arrived on scene and located the wanted person, who then fled from police. A foot pursuit ensued and the officers apprehended and arrested the man. During the arrest, the man was injured and taken to hospital. The SIU was notified and their mandate has been invoked. By law, we cannot comment. Yesterday at 3 p.m., police responded to a robbery of a financial institution located in the Keele Street and Wilson Avenue area. It is reported that a man entered the bank and approached the teller. The man passed a note indicating he was armed with a gun and demanded a quantity of cash. The man received the cash and then fled the bank. No injuries reported and hold-up squad is investigating. If anyone has any information, they're asked to contact Crime Stoppers anonymously. Last night at 9:40 p.m., police responded to a fire call in the area of Flemington Road and Varna Drive area. It is reported that Toronto Fire extinguished the fire and advised that 3 people were rushed to hospital with vital signs absent. A man has since been pronounced and a man and woman are currently in life-threatening condition. The scene has been secured by the Ontario Fire Marshal and the investigation continues. Anyone with information is asked to contact 32 Division. Last night at 10 p.m., police responded to a call for a robbery located in the Albion Road and Elmhurst Drive area. It is reported that 2 men entered the store with a firearm. One man jumped over the counter and made a demand for money. A struggle ensued between the man and the victim. The man dropped his handgun in the store during the altercation and fled the store with the money, leaving the gun behind. Police arrived on scene and canvassed the area for security cameras and witnesses. The victim received non-life-threatening injuries and the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact 23 Division or Crime Stoppers anonymously. And now, back to our feature story. Last week, we told you about the Chiefs Gala for Victim Services Toronto. If you have thought about donating to Victim Services before but wondered what would happen to your contribution, take a look at this.
I first learned about Dandy and the Trauma Dog program when I was taking the Child Abuse Investigations course at Toronto Police College. Dandy and her handler came to visit on one of our days and introduced us to the program and to Dandy, and informed us about how she can be utilized as a therapeutic tool for interviews. I'm an investigator in the 14 Division Youth and Family Services office, so we come across a lot of young and vulnerable victims. I was assigned to a case where there was a young victim who had gone through a violent assault. We had tried to conduct an interview with her at our station, and it was very apparent early on that the incident that brought her to our station and to the police was still very traumatic and still very fresh in her mind. We tried to go through the interview as best as we could, and slow and calm, but it was very clear that the victim was still impacted by the events. We managed to get through about 10 minutes before, unfortunately, the victim started suffering from a panic attack. So we stopped the interview, we discussed with her parents, with Victim Services, and we were going to reschedule the interview for the following week. The victim's parents were hoping to get a emotional support person through Victim Services to sit with her during the interview. It was my suggestion that they ask their daughter and ask Victim Services about Dandy and the program to see if it would be a good fit for her, just as a possible alternative tool. And it was arranged, so we rescheduled our interview with Dandy, and the victim and Dandy basically sat just like this on our interview couch at the station. And it was clear right from the beginning how effective Dandy really was. Throughout the interview, when we reached the difficult parts of the incident, you could see the victim's eyes welling up with tears and her emotions starting to rise. But then she would just look down at Dandy, just pet her, just focus on the dog, and even sometimes talking to Dandy instead of to us as the investigators. And she was able to calm herself right down, continue with her story, and we were able to get through an hour-long interview perfectly, and through the help of Dandy, because the victim was able to keep her emotions under control, and she was very thankful because providing the statement was something that she really wanted to do, and Dandy was the tool that let her get her voice out. Now that I've used Dandy once before in an interview, I'm positive I'll be using her again, not even just with youth victims or witnesses, but also with adults. I myself am a dog owner and lover, and I know if I had gone through something traumatic, I would love to have, much like this, and going through this interview, would love to have Dandy sitting there supporting me and just keeping me calm. To utilize Dandy's services, she does conveniently have her own email address, which is dandy@victimservicestoronto.com. You can also utilize her or refer her through Victim Services Toronto. I am a little jealous because Dandy does have a better business card than I do.
If you would like to support the Trauma Dog program at Victim Services, please call them at 416-808-7845 or visit their website at victimservicestoronto.com. If you have a story idea or want to see a member from your unit featured on Toronto Police News, you can leave a comment on our YouTube channel or email us at feedback.news@torontopolice.on.ca. That's it for today, Toronto. Thank you for watching and stay safe.